Hi, I'm Loren Michelle. Some people call me Mama Spliff. I was a business owner and ran a catering company, and now I run the Pablo Ramirez Foundation in honor of my son Pablo. Pablo always had a personality from the day he was born, and he was the kind of person that when he walked into a room, you knew he was there. He was curious, inquisitive, fun, adventurous, always on the go. It was really hard to keep up with him, and I realized as a parent that he was not the kind of person to control. My goal was to create more independence so he can just blossom and just be him.
Basically, I lived in San Francisco from like 2010, 2018, and shortly after I moved was when Pablo passed away, and I saw the effect it had on a lot of like really close people in my life that were in San Francisco. And I was in New York at that time, and then shortly after I started seeing Loren, activating the community and doing things like skate park cleanups or community meetups and things like that. And I really wanted to help, promote and give her a platform locally in New York through Skate Jawn, just to kind of like, help her build up and be able to do something here for the community. At some point or another, she tossed out the idea of making a small magazine, to kind of like incorporate with some of Pablo's artwork, and it was initially supposed to be a really, really small thing, and it grew into what it is now. It's really just a showcase of like the life, art, and legacy of Pablo Ramirez.
Like I was saying, people hit me up on Instagram all the time about this photo. Like, did he really do it? And I always just like to respond. I'm just like, yeah, he bombed every hill in San Francisco. If you think you're going down it for the first time, he probably did it. He probably did it with no camera, maybe with his t-shirt off. He didn't give a fuck.
We drove to Quintara, and he's like, man, this thing's not even that gnarly. I guess I'll just do it without my shoes on. And so we go to the top, and he kind of just does it right away, takes his shoes off, does it no problem. He comes back up, we're like, dude, that was so awesome. Zane was filming it from the top. I was taking the photo in the middle of the hill. We were all kind of joking around up top, and he's like, all right, like it's time to do it switch now. Gets back on his board. He's like, are you guys ready? And then goes down its switch with no shoes. Growing up in New York, and then coming here, he just never had a car. He didn't even understand, like, why do we have to sit in this car? Like, he's always like, oh, I don't want to go to LA. Like, I don't want to sit in traffic for hours while we go to different spots. Like, I just want to skate whatever's there, skate what's along the way. Yeah, it's just how he was.
Work, money, those like material items that like as you get older, like you're so drawn to, those were like never like his first thing. Like even eating was like second nature, it was like, it didn't come, it came after skating, it came after having fun, and you don't see that very often anymore with people.
I was here in New York City, and he was telling me about how he was really, painting with his girlfriend and painting with friends, and not until I ended up meeting him at his loft in San Francisco did I see like how much he had created, and it was magnificent. Like I was just blown away.
He's clearly self-taught and sort of fearless in his artwork. Seemingly he was trying things and coming up with things and changing things. Kind of a fearlessness like he probably had with his skateboarding, where he was not afraid to try anything, it seemed. I think when he had an idea, he would just go for it. It was very immediate. He'd form it, write it, paint it, whatever, and move on to the next thing.
I printed this out pretty early on and just kind of put it up behind my computer. I'm pretty sure the message is that everything is connected to leaves, or everything is connected to like dirt and trees. I don't know, I've always just kind of gravitated to this one.
Breathe, breathe, breathe. Pablo used a lot of these words in his poetry as, I think, a way for him to express this kind of dichotomy of what he must have felt going super fast, going down these hills, but then also stepping back and remembering to breathe.
I think it's really rare when someone, dies for people's grief to be expressed by like screaming, "Life is beautiful," and that's sort of like that speaks volumes to sort of his impact.
His friend, like best friend, his name escapes me, but he spoke at the service, and he quoted Pablo, and he said, "Where do the wheels go?" And they go away. And as a visual, that's a beautiful, like, amazing thing. Wheels are like erasers, except they don't make mistakes. They evaporate. Like, if you put in the work, your wheels are gonna disappear, And if you don't put in the work, they're gonna be shiny and new forever. We all go away. We are wheels in motion, and we go down the road. If you know that, you're gonna push a little harder. You're gonna get more out of every day, knowing that, we're here to go.
It's love, it's mine, it's yours, it's life, it's free. It's love, it's mine, it's yours, it's life, it's free. It's love, it's mine, it's yours, it's life, it's free.
My wish to know that if you're feeling the heart and you're feeling the love, share it. Put out that positivity. To people who are your friends, to people who are your family, to people you don't know yet. Share this love, because that's all we got.